Let's kick it off with the biggest news in Detroit. Franchise Tag Day was yesterday. Yesterday during the morning show, we were just kind of hypothesizing what was going to happen with Kenny Golladay. Are they going to keep him? Are they going to let him go? They offered him money. He turned it down. Then they didn't offer him a damn thing and said, thank you, we're taking a third-round pick. Get your ass out of here. And Kenny Golladay will no longer be a Detroit Lion.
Hey, I'm with it. You know, the reports out there of him having some questionable behaviors, theatrics over the past, couple of months. And I think it's time to move on. You have a guy that turned down a deal last year for 18 to 19 million per season. Now, granted, I don't know when he actually turned it down. We know it was last year, but when it was, because you don't know whether it was after Patricia and Quinn got fired, whether it was before that. I didn't hear that part. But if he turned it down because he didn't want to come back with them, I get that. But still, he had a chance to be one of the top paid wide receivers. Michael Thomas is getting 19.25, and that's like out of the top tier receivers, he's getting paid that. And Golladay wanted to be in that conversation, and he only had really 2 years of production. I think that was not the smartest move for him, but hey, more power to him. Ravens apparently want to throw some money at him. So do the Eagles. Hey, peace out.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's kind of the way it is. You're no longer a part of the squad. I really don't got much to do with you.
See, it was crazy.
Thanks for playing.
I was looking at the stats because obviously we keep hearing like, well, he only had this one season. So I dug deep to see statistics through Kenny Galladay's first 47 career games with the Lions.
Yeah, did you see that compared to Calvin Johnson?
Compared to Calvin
Johnson.
Johnson.
Go ahead. I won't steal your thunder. Go ahead.
So to run through this, Kenny Golladay in his first 47 games with the Lions had 3,068 reception yards and 21 touchdowns.
Yep.
Calvin Johnson in the same amount of games, first 47 in his career, 3,166 receiving yards, which is just 100 more than Kenny Golladay, and just one more touchdown than he had at 22 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, when you compare those two stats like that, it looks like, oh, no, they let the next Calvin Johnson go. But honestly, Kenny Golladay isn't near the level of Calvin Johnson. Stat-wise, a little bit, but different teams, different times, different situations. I respect Kenny Golladay for all he did here, and he did make some great catches.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful right there.
It was a steal from where we drafted him to what he turned into, but if we're going to put him up against big play CJ, I don't know what to tell you.
There is no putting him in the same conversation of Calvin Johnson, but he was. Let's be real. When he did come in those past couple of years, when he actually did play, he was pretty good. Damn good replacement, but put him in that same conversation with CJ is a bit much.
Yep.
I think the biggest thing with it though is when you play here in Detroit, and not to take away anything from Calvin Johnson, I feel like the Lions are just known for padding their stats. End of the game, things like that, where we just start adding numbers. So I honestly take those stats with a grain of salt. I mean, it is sweet that those stats in his first 47 career games with the Lions compare to Calvin Johnson.
Right.
But I don't overlook that. I look at the last season, the injuries, how he handled that, and that's the biggest thing.
And that's also how I also looked at Matt Stafford's stats, because everybody was saying, oh, he had all these great stats, but a lot of those were coming from behind, like trying to come back in games or just garbage time stats where the Lions are already blown out by 21 points or something like that, so he's going ahead and just chucking the ball up there, and that's what they call him, Stat Padford.
Yep.
So that's it's kind of the same thing with Kenny Golladay. A lot of his stats over these past couple of years came when the Lions were already blown out in the games, not when they were like ahead and kicking people's ass.
Yeah, so, I mean, we could talk about Kenny Golladay. We kind of have the last couple of days, like, leading up to what this decision was going to be. But let's more focus on the Lions and who is still here right now. Where do the Lions go for this? Do you guys really think now at number 7 they have to take a wide receiver, or do you think they can still hold back and kind of wait and see who's available? Because for what I'm seeing, like, the Lions aren't just looking at skill positions in this draft.
I've looked at a couple of mock drafts, and a lot of them have the Lions going wide receiver at number 7. I've seen some of them have some of them had not Jalen Waddle, Jamar Chase. So
Jamar Chase, yep.
On a lot of them. I looked at Maurice Jones-Drew draft board on NFL.com, and he had us taking Devontae Smith at 7, which actually shocked me because I thought he was slipping down on some of the boards. So,
So what, Maurice Jones-Drew is who we go off of now?
hey, he played former NFL running back. Maybe he can see something that we can.
Fantasy stud for 2 years.
That's about it.
Little bowling ball. Joey, what do you think? You think at number 7 we have to go wide receiver now?
I mean, you said it. You got to look at what is on the board now and reevaluate it. I mean, I first off want to just start it off by saying I still do want a quarterback because I think that we still need that in case there is some issues with Goff. And then next year, it's like we're not in the same situation where it's like, damn, we don't really have a quarterback. What do we do? Panic mode. And then he gets to learn under Goff because you can't take it away from Goff. I mean, he might have not been performing at the highest level recently, but he has at some point in his career. So for me, I look at this as a wide receiver is not a position that you really, really need. I mean, yeah, Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, they're great receivers, but there's always good receivers.
Yeah, what I'm hearing, or actually it's a fact, the Lions were at the pro day for Rashawn Slater, the offensive tackle. Mm-hmm. So you're seeing the Lions vet out everybody. And one of the things that I've seen people tweeting about and writing about is, are the Lions just tanking right now? Because they didn't franchise tag Kenny Golladay, they didn't franchise tag Romeo Okwara. They just let pretty much their 2 best players walk for nothing. I mean, we're going to get compensatory picks back for Kenny Golladay, but at very best, it's going to be a 3rd-round pick. It's not like we're cashing in on that. I don't think the Lions are tanking by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think they're clearing house and setting a new culture. And if they go offensive lineman with that number 7 pick, it's really putting a stamp down that, oh, God, these guys are different. These guys are completely different. They're seeing the game different, and they're trying to take us in a completely different direction than we've ever been in.
I think them not franchise tagging Romeo Okwara was different. Their reasons from not franchising Kenny Golladay. Golladay, we know they wanted him back by the reports of the contract extension. With Okwara, I think it's more so that the new defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, and probably Aubrey Pleasant, they probably see something that they want, some guys that they want to bring in, and Okwara he did all right for
that system.
That system, but he may not fit what they need. So like, hey, he's good, but is he a guy that we really want? Is he a guy that we can see succeeding under what we're trying to do? And that's probably why they let him go.
And it helps us with cap space.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Not re-signing that guy gives us a little bit more leverage because the Lions are up against it with the cap right now. And that's why I was surprised they actually offered Kenny Golladay $18 to $19 million a year last year. I don't know how they fit that into the budget. I honestly don't. I mean, we can't afford that right now.
I guess they were going to go into with the luxury tax and having to pay that, but. Man, I'm curious to see what deal Golladay is going to get in free agency. If somebody offers him that 18 to 19 mil, more power to you. If he gets anything less than 18 million, that to me just means that he was playing hardball with the Lions and did not want to be in Detroit.
How bad do you want that to happen, though? I want that to happen so bad because anybody, especially of his level, he wasn't at that elite level yet. I mean, you could say that arguably. When you look at these stats, he's on the cusp of it. But, man, I do not want him to get this big deal now.
Yeah, we're getting some comments in the chat right now on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So make sure you're commenting, and we'll read some of these comments back. They're saying, no, do not draft a wide receiver at 7. Get a free agent. There's so many available. I like that. There are lots of wide receivers available. And how do you think Jared Goff is feeling right now that he came here and he had Kenny Golladay kind of in the door as a weapon. Now he's looking at his wide receiver core and it's like, I got Tyrell Williams, I got Quintez Cephas. Let's do this. What is he thinking right now?
He's thinking hopefully Hawkinson turns into Travis Kelce, and he, statistically he's not too far off, but Goff has got to be wondering what in the hell did I get myself into? Well, I mean, I got traded, so what the hell am I getting myself into? What did I get myself into? That means that he didn't actually get traded there.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a turnover for the Lions. Obviously, the best wide receiver that we had on the squad is gone. Marvin Jones is going to be gone. Danny Amendola is gone. Really, the only two wide receivers we have on the roster, like I mentioned, Tyrell Williams and Quintez Cephas. I expect big things out of Cephas this year. But really, the star of the Detroit Lions right now, who is the face of the Lions right now? Now that Galladay's gone, now that Stafford's gone, now that Okwara's gone, who is the face of the Detroit Lions right now?
Honestly, I think it will be between Hawkinson and DeAndre Swift. I can't see anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, really, those are the only ones. That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy to think about? Like, this automatically thrusts either a second-year player in DeAndre Swift as our highlight, our big guy, or third-year tight end Hawkinson. And, I mean, you look around the league, how many teams is their star the tight end? Zero.
Yeah, not many. Only time I can remember a star on a team being the tight end was back when Tony Gonzalez played for the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, he was the star of the Chiefs, no matter hands down.
Right? No, that's a great point. Actually, I didn't even think about him. Yeah, because you think about Travis Kelce, but you got Mahomes and Tyreek Hill on that team. He's not necessarily the lone star. You think about George Kittle. Kittle may be the lone star for San Francisco.
I'll agree with that.
But Kyle Shanahan's run offense is just so prolific. Even though they have multiple backs, that's still the focus of their offense. So outside of Kittle right now, there's no team that has a tight end as a lead, and that kind of scares me if Hawkinson is it for us.
For that very reason, we got to just put Prater at that leader. We got to. Like, who's the person now that comes out to coin toss? It's going to be them three.
We should just send Matt Prater out for everything. I love Matt Prater. He's the best.
Especially, like, every time you talk about teams, on our lower thirds at the bottom of these screens, right about here, we can start having pictures of Prater now instead of Stafford, instead of Golladay.
Yeah, it really leaves the Lions in a starless position right now. So you hope DeAndre Swift can pick up where he left off last season, and you hope that Hawkinson keeps turning into the monster that Hawkinson is. I like this in the comments though. Dan Campbell is the star of this team.
That would be the first coach that is ever the head of it like that.
No, I mean Belichick's the star. Well, I guess he had Brady.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll. He's a star, but Jimmy Johnson was a star, but he had his big three. So, yeah, Dan Campbell, the lone soldier out here right now. And I'm okay with that.
Now, a couple of people said something on the internet the other day. Well, not internet, the other day, yesterday. And it made me really wonder this. I want to ask you guys this. Why do you think the Lions did not franchise tag Golladay and then tried to trade him?
I don't know, honestly. We've heard rumors that the dude's become a headache over the past couple years, that he's become an absolute diva. Started out as a nice, humble kid, then got a little bit of that pocket money and started popping bottles. And,
but what money? I mean, I can't rip on someone that's made just about $5 million in their career.
Yeah, that's money.
But when you talk about NFL and elite players, you're not amongst those conversations with $5 million.
Right, but when you start doing well and you start carrying yourself like you're a $20 million man and you're expecting that, just because you're not making that doesn't mean your attitude isn't reflecting that you feel you should make that. And honestly, that's what we've been hearing within our sources about Kenny Golladay and the Lions organization. They loved the guy. When they brought him in, he was nice, he was humble, he was hardworking, and then it turned into pay me. Like we were talking yesterday, he turned into Rod Tidwell. Show me the money. That's all I want. Show me the money.
Show me that you're on the field.
Right.
I mean, if you're hurt, here's the thing. I'm never going to knock a guy for being hurt. If you're hurt, then you're hurt. But if there are rumors out there and people are saying hey, he could have actually took the field and he didn't, not feeling that.
No, that's not the teammate I want. That's not the people I want to build around. So, I mentioned it earlier in the week. It's like the Joe Dumars, no knucklehead shit. Just get out of here if that's the way you're going to be, if that's how you're going to disrespect the organization. We ain't got time for that. We're trying to build something special here. So if you think you're a diva and you think you're better than anybody else in the league, then okay, we offered you $18 million. If that's not good enough, good luck.
I'm also trying to figure out this. Wide receivers, they not only want money, they want them stats.
Yes.
They want those numbers. I'm trying to, he's talking about going to Baltimore. Not, he's talking about, reports are that Baltimore and the Eagles and even the Patriots, everybody's a landing spot for the Patriots apparently, but those are the teams that are in the mix for him.
Right.
I'm trying to think of, like, if I'm Kenny Golladay, why, whether we had Matthew Stafford or Jared Goff, both of those are better QB situations than where he might be going to, unless a contender opens a checkbook somewhere and he still may not get close to what he's asking for. I'm trying to figure out which QB situation will be better for him than the one that he has right now, and I don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Eagles earlier. I think that'd be a good landing spot for him. They definitely need the wide receiver help. You know, you're scared that maybe like the Packers reach out to him or something like that. Like, I don't want to see him in the division. You know, as much as I've been talking about how it's okay that he's walking away, he is a talented wide receiver, and he would be a problem if he had, you know, Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball. So I don't want to see that in our division. Just like Stafford, hope he stays healthy, hope he finds his way with another team, but now you're going up against the Lions, and you the enemy. That's it. That's just how it goes.
I look at this so much more deeply, and I probably overthinking this a little bit too much, but you bring up a good point by saying, why would they not franchise tag him and then trade him? Do you think that they've tried shopping him around and no teams had interest?
Ooh, maybe.
At the price point that he's at? Because obviously teams got interest.
Let's say this. You know what, to your point, if we're hearing the same stuff that we're hearing about Golladay, you know other teams are hearing some of that same stuff. GMs talk, coaches talk, owners talk. So if they tried to shop him and couldn't get rid of him, then we're gonna see that reflected in free agency.
Yeah, and we'll find out. That's the best part. You know, not only is free agency about to hit the market, was that March 17th?
Yeah.
March 17th,
next week.
St. Patrick's Day. And then the draft is 50 days away. We're 50 days away from the draft. And so I love the NFL, how even though they have the shortest season, you can talk about them all year long because of how they stagnated everything, and just it stays relevant so long.
I got to give it to the league for that, because basketball, I love basketball. Like, I love basketball more than football, but at the same time, the NBA cannot keep that train going like the NFL can. You can, like you said, you can literally talk about the NFL every day. You can't talk about NBA every day and keep it entertaining.
Right. No, the NFL is just like a real life soap opera, and I absolutely love it. It's my guilty pleasure. So other people that got franchise tagged yesterday, local boy Allen Robinson.